This is Celine. This is Heidi.
And welcome back to In the Shadows. What if it doesn't sound like that?
I don't know. We're gonna
Great.
find out.
All right, amazing. Always such a hurdle. The title, such a hurdle.
Figuring out the beginning, hurdle.
So bad.
But
It
this is our third episode of In the Shadows.
is.
How
so
fun.
We're in
Oh
a
my
different
gosh.
spot every time.
Yes, we are.
Always keep them guessing.
We're in my bedroom right now, behind my dresser. But
Love.
our topics today is themes that we've been seeing this past month, and
Or like
themes,
3 months.
yeah,
or 2
these
months.
past 2 to 3 months, the themes that we've been seeing, and
Results of Heidi's sabbatical.
Oh, my sabbatical? Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my sabbatical.
Yeah.
And third, moments of joy.
Yeah.
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 Okay, who wants to go first?
I only have one theme.
Okay.
'Cause-
All right, let's go.
I don't know. I might have more if I think about it, but my one theme that I feel like categorized the last like 2-3 months is, and I talked to you about this already, is both and instead of either or. You know what I mean? Like life is not so much either or as it is both and that can be applied to like so many things. So one of them is that just like internally, like within yourself, there is room for all parts of yourself.
100%.
And I feel like a lot of people, me included, have this mentality of like, if I want to be like quote unquote like healed or like my ideal self, it means I have to eradicate all the parts of myself that I don't like and all the parts of yourself that you feel like are negative. Like I have to like not be this or not be that, or get rid of like this type of thinking or this type of like perspective that I have in my brain. But in reality, it's more like both and. So you can have both the good and the bad inside of you, and there's room for both. You
The
know what I mean?
duality. Yeah.
And also just like in other aspects of your life, you know, it's like you can love someone and they can also hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something can be not fun or like not a great experience, and you can also learn from it. You know what I mean? So it's like there's room for all the different facets of a thing
Yeah.
in your life, and it's not so much like a thing has to be either all good or all bad, or like things have to be a certain way, otherwise they're not worth having. You know what I mean? It's like it can be both and more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh, both
Yeah.
and more. That's so crazy. What made you like think like that? Like understanding that you can have both, and like, you know, coming from like looking at it only one way, it's like it's either this or it's either that. Like how did you like gradually find that?
I think it's something that I've heard from other people, but it's like one of those things that you hear all the time, but you don't really understand it until like you understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I get that.
And the both and thing was actually something I heard from Jonathan Van Ness, you know, from Queer
Oh
Eye.
yes, yeah.
Because he was also doing an interview where it was like, what is like one thing that you learned as you've gotten older, and he was talking about how like life is both and, not either or. And I heard that like maybe like a year ago or something, and I just kept it in my mind because I didn't really like understand it then, but now it's like I understand it more because it's more applicable to me. And now I'm like, oh, like that's what he was talking about life being both and yeah, I feel like I've genuinely like there's so much pressure that's taken off when you feel like when you see life as both and, you know what I mean? It's like it's not like you are struggling and failing and that's it. It's like maybe you're struggling and failing and you're trying your best. It's like both and. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. That's where I heard it from. But yeah, I feel like that's definitely been the theme lately.
Would you say, since thinking like that, you've had more acceptance of yourself? Like,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
And that's
so.
what it just sounds like it. It's accepting both the good and the bad, and neither one has to dramatically change. Like, you don't have to necessarily dramatically take away all the bad parts of you and like
Yeah.
increase the good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of related to something that I feel like we talk about a lot, which is like you are not a self-improvement project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to have this board on my Pinterest that it was about like different things. It was about like health, like fitness, mental health, things like that. Like all things that I was like interested in implementing in my life, like lifestyle stuff. And the board was called self-improvement. For years I've had this board, okay, since like high school. And then recently I changed the title to self-embodying.
Oh.
Because I feel like that's different. Like it's not so much like I'm trying to improve myself, I'm just trying to embody myself more in a way that feels authentic to me, to become my ideal self. Because for me, my ideal self, like right now, is not like perfection, obviously, because no one can be perfect, but it's just to be integrated as a whole person, you know what I mean, and not have so much like parts of me that feel disconnected, like disjointed, you know what I mean? And I feel like that also has stuff to do with your identity too, because it's like you're a certain type of person at home, you're a certain type of person at work, you put on different faces for different people, and that helps you because evolutionarily it helps us get along with other people to kind of reciprocate the energy that other people are giving to us. But sometimes that can also be really tiring if you feel like you have to put on a different energy for every person, and then it feels like you're not one person but more like you're 6 different people for everyone else, and then it's like which one of these people are actually you. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to like bring them all in, be one consistent person, and in trying to get there I'm like, oh, it's both and. Like, it's both I'm the person at home and the person with my friends, and I'm both of these and more.
And I think, you know, as I think I was like listening to someone talking how like the ego wants things to be perfect, wants things to be labeled, and like to be put in a box, but we are not that. You know, like we're not meant to be put in a box. We are so multifaceted, and like a lot of the times we don't really talk about like the other side of things, like the nasty, the more like not so good looking part of our like lives. And like just relating back to you, it's just like felt like I've always hidden parts of like myself, of things that I love, like with sexuality and like me wanting to be sensual. And it's like, you know, also being brought up like a bit more conservative. It's like whoa, it's like how
like those
to,
parts
like,
of you aren't allowed.
it's like I'm not allowed to be more sensual or like that type of like in that type of area. So it's like,
which is that how you feel? Like you
not
are?
now, not
Yeah,
no,
not now,
yeah,
but,
not
like,
but that like a long time,
yeah,
like having to break down those barriers of like it's okay to like be those things, like and like to not be ashamed of it. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that we're made to feel ashamed for, and not all of those things are actually shameful things,
right?
You know, it's
100%.
like a lot of them are just like messages that have been taught to us, but we internalize them and then we feel some type of way about it, and then before you know it, you've been like putting on a version of yourself that's not really you, because of like shame and like weird, like people say you shouldn't be this way or you shouldn't like present yourself like that, and that's, you know, not good for anyone, you know what I mean?
Not good for anyone. And like if you just hear like the undertones of it, it's like fear, like, and I've just been trying to not be fearful, like,
which is hard.
It's so ingrained, like it's our like human nature to like be fearful, to be careful, but at the same time, like over the edge of like not of like overcoming that fear is like so much beauty and like greatness. That's just like if you can just get over that like little edge, you know, in my
I agree. I definitely think there needs to be a balance, because I mean fear is good, like fear, like it serves a purpose in your life, like it warns you like, hey, maybe this isn't like what's right for you. Like maybe that's why we're afraid. Like it's a emotion to like warn us about danger, right? Like,
yeah.
and evolution. So it's like not necessarily a bad thing. But again, it's like the both and, like having a balance of like fear and curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like maybe not like 90% fear and 10% curiosity, but maybe more like a 50-50.
Yeah.
Where sometimes we're saying yes to things that scare us, and saying yes to things that are outside of our comfort zone, while also like being cautious and being, you know, careful and being safe about the way that we do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we can both acknowledge the fear and learn from what it has to teach us, and also make our own choices and move past it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think getting more into this, and it's like now I'm just like thinking, it's like, what should we be fearful of? You know, it's like,
honestly, not a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Not
like,
a lot. Yeah.
It's like a cliff. Yeah, don't go near the cliff, dummy. You know, like if you don't have a harness on, don't go near the cliff. But it's just like, now it's like breaking down those barriers. There is not a lot of things to be afraid of, to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I think it always, like, there's always room for fear and awareness. You know what I mean? Like, those two balance each other out. So it's like, you're not, like, just running headfirst off a cliff. Like, you're being aware of your surroundings. Like, acknowledging the fear, like, oh, yes, that's a scary cliff. But also being aware of, like, where you are and, like, oh, like, I'm safe here. Like, I don't have to run off the cliff. I'm fine where I am, and I can walk right up to the edge of the cliff and not jump off it, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
gosh. I like that so much.
What's your theme?
Like, I don't know, I've seen this video where basically, like, the universe's time, God's time, God's perfect timing is being unhurried. And like, it's just like, that has just been my theme. Like, being unhurried, this, like, of course, like, there's things I need to do, but it's like, things are gonna get done. And especially, like, I know this time frame, I have to do this, and I'm gonna do it. But, like, with everything else, like, I've just been unhurried, and I've just been, like, being more present, which is so, like, weird. I've just been, like, I don't know, the beauty, like, the timing of being unhurried, it's just, like, that has just been my theme, and things have just been always, like, lining up.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird to see, because I'm just, like, I don't know, like, also, it's just, like, it's weird because me and, like, other friends, like Miko, we were just talking about things that we want to do, and, like, it lines up. It's like, we wanted to go to a club, a Scarlet's, and we were just planning on going, and basically we got the hookup, so we're on the guest list, so we don't have to pay this cover charge, like, next week, which is, like, so weird. It's just, like, things just, like, fall into place naturally. And it's just, like, am I tripping? Or it's just, like, what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? And, like, so being unhurried, also cleaning, like, has been such a big theme, because I've been cleaning my room, and it's like, I feel like I can breathe more.
I
don't know,
like your physical space is a reflection of your mental space.
And, like, I can breathe more, like, just by cleaning this room, like, adding in, like, little personal touches, like, with my green tablecloths. It's just, like, cleanliness has been, like, okay, just clean and you'll figure it out. I don't know, it's so weird. It sounds too simple to, like, believe it, but to a certain extent, it's just, that has been my theme. It's just, like, scrubbing everything down, and, like, taking out things that you need and taking out things that you don't need, and, like, the physical aspect and actually doing it is such, like, a reflection of, like, my mental space, of like my spiritualness. It's just like cleansing out all the bad, and, like, a little like backstory on this, like, I've had more things like on this desk, but I've put them away because it was not needed. So it's just like knowing to when to let things go.
Yeah. I feel like that's something we both have been doing, because we've both been like
Yeah.
in a very like deep cleaning, like room
deep
revamp,
reflection,
which I like. Honestly, like I had the same feelings when I was doing that. It's like the physical action of getting rid of things that don't serve you. It like does something for you mentally. You know what I mean? Which I feel like it's kind of the same concept of like, you know, rage rooms, where people just go and like smash things because they're angry. It's like the physical manifestation of what's up here. It's the same concept with cleaning. It's like the physical manifestation of you like getting rid of like things that mentally don't have no purpose anymore for you. Like maybe they did at one point, but not anymore.
Yeah. Like,
and that's okay.
Yes. I've like stored them away. Like I put them away. It's like, and it's crazy like touching each like item. It's like I know who gave this to me. Like I know the story behind it, but it no longer serves me, and like I thank the item, which is like such a present moment. Like it's bringing like it's remembering the past, like putting it away for new things for the future. And what a present moment that is. You know what I mean? So it's like being unhurried, being cleanly, and another thing is just like gratitude. Like going back to gratitude, because I've been just like thinking about like fear, and it's like a lot of the times I've been like fearful, and you know, I feel like it was only like this year where I've definitely started like coming out of my shell, just because of all the other shit that's just been happening. And like to get over fear, it's like being in gratitude and knowing what you want, like your plan. So I've just been like doing those things, and like unhurriedly, like just like taking it day by day, and it's just like I've just been feeling so much more joy, you know.
I'm glad.
Thank you. And like,
what do you think about that is bringing you joy?
I think there's so many layers to this question. It's just like being thankful for everything that I have right now. Just because like I've always been in a wanting. I've always been yearning for something more. You know, and it's just like it always leaves something like
unsatisfied.
It's like I'm not enough. Like I'm not enough currently right now. It's like I'm not, like my room isn't enough because I don't have it's not aesthetically pleasing to me, or like my body is not enough because I'm not like physically where I want to be. And it's just like
scarcity mindset really like takes a toll on you.
Yes, it does. But you know, so freaking cliche. It's like an opposite of a scarcity mindset is like it is like being present and having gratitude for everything that you have right now. Because just remembering you know, once before, like, or before that, it's like remember like the things that you have right now, like you wanted one day before, you know, like
you once wished for.
And it's like you have it right now, so be grateful for it, and like don't take that for granted. So I've just been like really practicing that, and just I don't know, life has just been like way better. And like also in showing gratitude, it's like me working out more, and it's just like feeling like my body, and like going through like the exercises, which is just like, you know, I'm putting it through pain, and like I'm putting it through things that I didn't even know my body was physically capable of doing. And I'm about to put it through more things because I'm going to be training even more. So it's just like being grateful for my body to even have the capability to exercise and to do all of these moves that I'm doing right now, and the ability of being able to do more So it's just like super gratifying, and like that leads to like the next topic. It's just like I've just been feeling joy like every day, which is
That's
like
really good.
yeah, it's
I'm
crazy
glad.
it's crazy to say, but it's just like every little thing I just try to do it with intention, like setting up the table, like that little
Yeah.
thing. It's just like
Yeah.
so much joy and gratitude
Yeah.
like in every day, which is so weird. I never thought I would say that,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
with those practices, I've been feeling joy every day. Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah. Those are definitely definitely big ones. I will say, like, gratitude for your body being able to do what it does is such a real thing,
Yeah.
because I honestly didn't have that until I got injured. Do
Oh,
you
bro.
Like, my Achilles, when it got
Yeah.
like ruined, it's like just now, like a month and a half later, beginning to come out of that. And there were so many things that I couldn't do for a long time that I took for granted. And I'm like, wow, I really took that for granted when I was able to do it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm just beginning to start being able to do those things again, I notice it so much more now.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know what it's like to not
Yes.
have it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, to have it being, like, taken away from you or whatever.
It's such a duality.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so happy for you, though.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
But what are your moments
I
of
love
joy,
that
my
for
love?
you. Okay, speaking of moments of joy, two things that are not my moment of joy, but I wanted to say. One of them was that it really is like going out and looking for joy on purpose is the key.
Right.
Like that's the answer. Which like you hear that all the time, but I don't think people understand just how intentional you have to be to get there. Because so many people are just like, I'm sad and then I'm just gonna hope that one day I'll wake up happy. Which, honestly, same. Like, I used to do that too. It's like, oh, if I wake up happy...
That's normal. That's human.
Yeah. It's because no one ever taught us otherwise.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if I woke up happy today, oh, it's a good day. Like, the stars smile upon me and stuff like that. But it's like, not every day you're gonna wake up happy. Not every day you're gonna wake up, like, dancing
joyful,
and smiling. Yeah, you have to, like, go out on purpose and, like, look for joy on purpose. Because guarantee, humans are such pattern finders. You find the patterns that you look for. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
And not to get into astrology, but, like, that is one of the reasons why astrology is so popular. It's because humans find patterns in what they look for.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, either way on astrology, but I think it's, like, a really big, like
I'm saying this because I'm this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the patterns. Like, I don't know how valid it is, but it's just, like, the patterns that you find are... The patterns that you look for are the patterns that you find.
So funny, when you want something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve it.
Yes, from The Alchemist. I love that quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, so humans find... You find what you look for. And so if you're always looking for negatives, and you're always nitpicking, and you're always, like, saying, oh, like, my life is this or that, and it's what you'll find.
Glass is half empty or half full. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's, like, sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, go. I'll
you
say
took a
after.
breath like you're about to say something. I think that's also why I've noticed that, like, affirmations work, like, positive affirmations, because it's even, like, if you just have a thought and you just run that thought through your head once and you never think about it again for the rest of the day, even though you never think about it again, it's still there in your subconscious. So your brain is, like, on the lookout for those patterns.
Yeah.
So if you have, like, an affirmation of, like, I'm finding joy today, if you never have that thought again for the rest of your day, because you thought it once already, your brain is already, like, programmed to be in that. You know, to be in that track.
Bro,
to look for
words so important. Like, words can either, like, heal you or break you. Like, truly.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why it's like
how we speak to ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Has to be kind.
Yes.
And it's just like, you know, that, like, how simple is that? Is that just you speaking can bring life to someone or can freaking kill them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like, what a power that every one of us has.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So
I
great.
I agree.
But what I wanted to say before was that my coworkers were like, oh, like, you have a, well, like, what degree are you getting? Like, what are you looking to do with your degree after getting out of college? And I'm just like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I just know I'm gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just basically, like, saying, like, I told them, like, I don't know, I've just always had opportunities, like, in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
because I've always been looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they're just like, wow. Like, I was like, yeah. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, people are just like, oh, that's lucky girl syndrome, but it's just like, no, that's just me. Like,
Yeah.
I think I've just always had opportunities because I've always looked for them. And, like,
Yeah.
I've always been seeing them. And
Yeah.
there is never, like, a lessened supply of opportunities for me. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, have you heard of that lucky girl? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
A little bit.
yeah.
I definitely know a few lucky girls who I feel like operate on that lucky girl syndrome. So I understand the vibe.
But at the
also,
same time,
yeah.
it's giving also like privilege too, like
Yeah.
that. So it's just like
it's a balance.
it's a balance.
It's like maybe they are lucky, maybe it's privilege.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe it's both. It's both ends.
Yeah.
Like maybe they do work hard, but they also have privilege.
Yeah.
So, that's a part of it definitely. But I mean, that goes with the whole like, you know, just keeping your eye on your own track. You know what I mean? Like it does no good to like compare your, like speed of your journey to anyone else's because it's just gonna make you unhappy.
100%.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
Bro, I stopped like watching like YouTube and IG because I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, bro.
I muted
I've just
so
been
many
sad,
people.
like just looking at. Yeah. I'm
It
just
makes me
like,
so sad.
no.
I unfollowed I went on like an unfollowing spree. on
I
so many
remember.
people on
A couple
Instagram.
years, right?
No, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, shoot.
Like very recently. I
Love.
unfollowed like a lot of people. Muted a lot of people. Because I'm like, honestly, I don't want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is about the whole, like, what we were talking about earlier, that you shouldn't have to be available to everyone all the time. And the flip side of that is I don't think everything should be available to you all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have, like, your personal life available to me all the time. Because I don't need to see it. You know what I mean? It's like, we have
and I
too
don't
much,
want to see it.
yeah, we have, like, so much information that we don't need. Like, there's so much, like, mental clutter.
Yes.
Like, so much mental
1000%.
clutter. It's like, it's just noise. It's all noise.
Okay. Continuing on from that, segueing into basically that whole entire my sabbatical was just about that. Was just about, like, getting rid of the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, truly silence. So scary, but so powerful.
Mm-hmm. What kind of silence? Like actual silence?
Like, not hearing anyone else's thoughts but your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, whoa.
So how did you go about your sabbatical while still like upkeeping with like school and work and all the things that you have to be present for?
So the rules that I set for myself is like, people can talk to me, I'm just not going to reach out to you. Like, if I do need support or if someone needs support from me, I'll always be there, but I'm not going to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've talked to you during the sabbatical,
Yes.
but not like hung out, like,
Mm-hmm.
but that was just basically my rules, like, just strictly keeping to like myself, not really talking to anyone, not really like wanting to know other people unless they needed me,
Mm-hmm.
type of situation. And like, that has just, and so setting those rules for myself, also setting rules for what I need to do every day, my routines. I was like praying in the morning, and like, I can talk to like coworkers, friends, of course, or coworkers, and to like my teachers, but anything other than that, it was just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to say, like, that was the easy part, but another clutter, like, another thing that I was like kind of like reflecting back on it is like, internet usage,
Mm-hmm.
like Instagram and YouTube. Like I
Yeah.
felt like I was dependent on that a bit more since I didn't have anyone. So I think that was like not the best thing for me either.
Mhm.
But it's so hard to like
Mhm.
get rid of that because it was such like my clutch, and just like having the fear of
You mean your crutch?
my crutch. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, did I
My
say
clutch.
clutch?
My coach
My
bag.
crutch. Yeah, my
you know
coach
you know
bags.
what I feel like that is like, because humans have such like a need for connection.
Yeah,
And so when you like go like cold turkey off of that, you know what parasocial relationships are?
I don't know what that is.
It's basically like a social relationship that's not real. It's like one-sided. Like that's why
Oh my
we
gosh.
love like humans love like vlogs or like slice of life type of things. Like we love like movies, we love TV because we feel like we know the characters, we feel like they're our
It's
friends.
like, no, you don't. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry to say.
But do you know why that is though? I was learning about this, and it's like when we evolved, like we never knew that technology and screens would be a thing. So our brain never learned to distinguish the difference between a person on a screen and a real person.
What the fuck?
So in our brain, it like when you are watching a person on the screen and it's like a show you've watched a million times or like a YouTuber you've watched a million times, the same like pathways light up in your brain as if that's a person you know, like as if that's a relationship you have. It's a parasocial relationship because it's not a real social relationship because it's one-sided, but your brain doesn't know the difference because it never had to. Like out in the wild, like
it never thought to.
It never, it, like out in like the woods or whatever, we never had to learn the difference between like a fake screen human and a real human face.
That's so crazy.
So that's probably why you felt like you were more dependent on it, because you like had lessened social contact.
That's absolutely crazy
Yeah.
because now you see like so many people, they go ham for like celebrities and like like vloggers, and it's like no hate to them, but at the same time it's like, whoa, you gotta
it's a lot.
yeah
And maybe that's why it's because it's like so many people. Oh yeah, I was watching this like really interesting video yesterday about like the evolutionary purpose of loneliness, like why like the feeling of loneliness, because loneliness is subjective, being alone is objective. You know what I mean?
Right.
So loneliness is subjective. You could be in a room full of people and feel lonely, but you're not alone.
Yeah. But you can be alone and not lonely.
Exactly. Like some people love being alone and they're not lonely at all. And it was like that purpose was so you wouldn't get left behind by the group of people, because the more you were able to fit in a group, the more you were likely to survive. It was like survival of the fittest and stuff. And the video is also talking about how we are currently in the most connected age that humans have ever been in, yet the highest rate of loneliness humans have ever experienced. Like if you think about it, you can just like message your friend across the entire world like that. Like you can talk to someone on the other side of the world like that, yet we feel so lonely. And it's like I think the technology is moving too fast for us. Like we can't keep up. And you know, at the end of the day, we still have basic human needs. Like we still need to like feel like loved, and
you still need touch.
Like face-to-face human contact, you know. So anyways, that's my take on that. It's really interesting.
That is like honestly so true, because I just felt like I needed that, but at the same time it was like I was watching just a lot of trash that was not the best for me, but I just needed something. But now that I've like come out of it, like I'm talking to more people, but now I'm just being super selective of who I'm like seeing and like how much I actually want to interact day by day. It's like, do I actually want to talk to no I don't. Like I'm just gonna take a break alone. So it's just
like being intentional with it.
So intentional. And that's like being intentional, that's what causes so much joy, at least for me. You know, like being super intentional, like every single thing I do, every single thing I say, it's intentional and it has a reason behind it.
You know what I think that is, to bring in more psychology, it's your locus of control. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it, but I don't remember what it is.
It's like how you perceive being in control. Like, so if you have an internal locus of control, you feel like your control comes from internally. Like, you're choosing this, you're choosing that. If you have an external locus of control, you think that the environment dictates what happens to you and you have no control, and it's the external that has the control.
Interesting.
So there were a lot of studies that were done that like people who tend to have like an external locus of control are less happy because they feel like
the world is being done onto them.
Exactly. And it's like things are happening to me and it's always happening to me. And people with an internal locus of control were more happy in general because it was more of like I'm choosing this. I perceive myself to be in control of what's happening. Therefore, I'm okay with what's happening. You know what I mean? And so I feel like being intentional kind of goes along with that, because when you're intentional, when you are intentionally choosing the people that you let into your life and the people who have access to you, you kind of have some kind of control of like what's happening in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course we can't have 100% control of what's happening, but the things that you can control are
there
yourself.
Are a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
it's yourself.
There's a lot of things that you can control. Like, I think you can control maybe like 80% of like, maybe to a certain extent. I don't know. You know, depending on the circumstances.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, I can choose to sleep right now, or I can choose to read a book.
Yeah.
It's just like those little things. Yeah. Those are like the little wins within my day.
Yeah. And you like having that choice and having that control in your own life is probably contributing to your joy, because you feel like you made that joy happen to yourself.
Yeah.
Because I chose that to happen and I chose this to happen, and that results in joy for me. And it's not so much like, like I am like, the world is like running over me.
Yeah.
And I have no control over anything. And yeah.
Can we talk about like, really, to a certain extent, it's really about timing.
What is?
And like, it's just taking time. Like, I think for like the longest of time, I've just always been in a hurry. And like, I need to get this, and then. But now it's just like really just taking time and knowing like there's different seasons for things. And like, I think I'm in this season of receiving. Like, that's just my season right now. And like, understanding like, I don't know, it's something, I can't like explain it, but something about timing, you know? It's
that's
like,
what you learned from your sabbatical.
Yeah, it's like being 24, like so different from being like 23, you know? Like so many like, I can't really explain it, but
that's okay.
It's like,
I get it.
So much timing. It's like, timing is so weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, neither forwards nor backwards. It's just like,
it's just there.
Going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I bet you had a lot of time to think about that too, especially if you're like not talking to people as much and you have more time on your hands. You have time to think about time.
Yeah.
You know? I think, our culture in general is just always very hurried. And it's like, we have to do this by this time or else, you know.
Yeah.
It's like we're doing our life wrong or something, which is like, that's not true.
And like, I think like yesterday went to like a little talk, and basically like we have our whole entire like lives to like do good. Don't feel like you need to like hurry up and be perfect right now, you know? So I was just like thinking about that, and I was just like, why does it feel like, or why do people say that we never have enough time? You know? So I'm just like, let's rephrase that and like, let's fix it to what I want to believe. It's like, why do I have like, you know, I have so much time to do the things that I want. And it's just like gratitude.
Yeah. Be present.
That's just pretty much what I learned from the sabbatical.
I love it.
And I might be doing another sabbatical again. just cause. But but instead of a people sabbatical, it's gonna be a technology sabbatical. So
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, love a cleanse.
Yeah, so no like YouTube or Instagram. That's tough. So I'm gonna be talking to more people now.
As you should. It should.
Yeah.
Okay, back to a moment of joy. What are you talking about?
Yo.
The second thing that I was gonna say about moment of joy. I was thinking about this today. I was watching Harry Potter.
Oh.
The 7th one, the first part. Okay.
Okay.
And the scene in that movie, like after Ron leaves and Hermione is all sad and she has a locket on, and then Harry like takes it off and then they just like dance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That like little
Such an intimate moment.
such an intimate moment, such a pocket of joy.
Yeah.
Because that movie is so dark.
Dark.
Like, the whole movie from the jump, so dark, so
Yeah.
grim. People are dying in the first like 10 minutes.
They're walking everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
Everything is destroyed.
Yeah, they're all like scared all the time, and like the movie is so dark, and like out of like there are so many scenes that they've cut from Harry Potter. Like there's so many scenes that didn't make it to that movie, and the fact that they chose to leave that scene in when really it literally has no purpose to the plot. Like it adds nothing to the plot. Nothing is different. It's really just like a slice of life in the movie.
Yeah.
That is so like action and like everything, and it's just like a piece for them to be human and to like find joy in this like super super dark time that had no reason for being there, but it just was. And I feel like that's kind of like that scene being there in itself is like the perfect like reflection of real life, because sometimes like things can be so dark and so grim, and then for no reason there's just like a pocket of joy, like for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
And you don't know why or where, and maybe it's like super short and like the moment is gone as soon as it comes, but it's there, and it's like it adds nothing to the plot, but it's just like, you know, it's just for you to enjoy. And I feel like that's what that scene was in that movie, and I was thinking about that before I came over here today. I was like, wow, that was like a moment of joy.
I think I've seen it in the interview that they did. It's like they specifically left that in there because it was too intense.
Yeah.
And they needed a breath of like just like tension to be released.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, because like too much, that's overbearing. But it's just like it's so real. And like not to like, it's so weird because like it's like that turning point of just like things might get better, like, or it's just like a little bit more of hope.
Yeah, like, that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's hope.
Yeah,
it's hope. Yeah, okay, so like speaking about moments of joy, like for me, like my moments of joy have just been like writing some of my favorite things I've ever written before, like for my like little poetry like soul, you know what I mean? And I say this all the time, but I genuinely think it's true. Like everything I write, like I feel like that's what I'm most proud of at that point, and then I write something else and I'm like, this is what I'm most proud of, like this is the best one I've done. And that makes me so happy because it genuinely is like, I love externalizing like what's inside. And okay, I was reading, I forgot what I was reading. I read a lot of things, but I was reading this.
No kidding.
She loves learning. I was reading this one thing where someone was talking about how like humans love art. Like we love art. We love paintings that make us stop in our tracks. We underline lines in books that make us think and that put into words that which we cannot put into words ourselves. And it's like that's really like all we're doing here is like in here as in like in life, like as humans, is like we're all just trying to express stuff that is inexpressible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's really.
I wonder what's the word for that. You know.
I don't know. I was thinking about it too, and I'm like you really are just like the words that you underline in a book, or like the movies that you love so much, or you know, the pictures, that photographs and paintings that speak to you. Like that's who you are, because those things are important to you, because it like strikes something in you. Like you can't look away because it resonates with you so strongly, because it puts into physical form something that is so deep inside of you. You know what I mean?
It sparks passion.
Yeah. And so that's my moment of joy. And also just like in my room, when it like starts to become summertime, there are certain shadows that come back into my room, and I call them the summer shadows, and they just make me so happy because I know like the world is turning into summer, because these shadows don't come in my room all year round. It's like I don't know what it is about the angle of my house, but at a certain time when it turns into summertime, the shadows come back around the late afternoon, and it makes the like light on my walls dance.
Pretty,
Yeah, and I just love sitting there and just like watching it, because it's just like I don't get this year round, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like when they're here, it's like such a gift.
Such a fleeting moment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my part of joy.
Oh my gosh. So like, it's the little things,
Yeah,
you know?
really, it really is.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Pockets of joy. Oh, specific. One thing that happened last night. Basically, I was helping an auntie get this app on her like phone, and like I was just like looking at her struggle with it, and it was something else. Something inside me was like, Heidi, help her. And I was like, oh, Auntie, do you need help? I was like, yes, you do it. And I was like, so I basically like helped her.
Yeah.
And like, basically like this was in church, and like this like priest was like asking us questions like, who's your favorite saint? And like my favorite saint was Saint Therese of Lisieux. I think that's how you say it, because
the little flower.
yeah, the little flower,
Yes.
because she's my saint. And basically I told him like the reason why she's my favorite saint is because she gives out little flowers like when she was alive, and it's just like the little things make the biggest of changes, and like we underestimate those little things because we think that we need to make those big changes. And basically I said that out loud in front of the whole congregation in like the microphone.
Really?
Yeah, and like the auntie who I helped was like, see, this is the little thing, you helped me. And like my mom was like patting me on the back like, because like
wait, was this at our church?
Yes.
What are they doing live
I'll
interviews?
let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know after
like-
what was happening. Basically, my
Okay.
mom was like proud of me, and
Yeah,
like she pat me
that's
on
so
the
cute.
back, and it was just like, it's weird because like I heard my dad like cheering. It's like, you said
Aw.
something. It's like, you
I
know,
love
he would have said something. That man would have said something. So it's just like, that was such a little moment of joy, you know, and like I've just been having it every day, and it's like I need to write it down. Like,
in your jar.
yeah, it's the jar.
Girl, it's empty.
Yeah, I know. I gotta do it. So basically, that jar, it's like I'm supposed to write down like
Moments of joy.
moments of joy. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I better write that down today.
Because I have a little jar, and I write down all like the moments of joy. Like, you know those moments where like time just like stands still, or like you're just like so blissful in that moment.
Yeah.
Because, you know, nothing else really matters because you're just like happy.
Yeah.
And like I've been capturing those moments and keeping them in a jar, and it's like my little jar of joy. And I
Yes.
feel like it's fun. You should do it.
Yeah.
And then you can like read them all at the end of the year and be like, wow, these are
Yes.
all like,
Things that I
Yeah.
did, things that I've
it's
experienced.
like a jar of like pixie dust. You know what I mean? That's like real life pixie dust. It's
Beautiful.
joy.
That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. But
I love that.
yeah, that was basically another moment of joy. Another moment of joy, just setting up the table and like
Where we
hearing
had
the
dinner?
music. Yes, where we had dinner. Like, if only you guys felt the vibes of like
Yeah,
me setting up.
I walked in. It was like the Italian Riviera.
Yes.
Like the curtains were drawn, the green trees, the afternoon sunlight. She was playing this like old money Italian vacation music. So good.
Yeah.
We ate on the floor, tablecloth, picnic blanket. It's just like romanticizing
yeah, the little things.
everyday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like, am I in the Studio Ghibli film? Yes.
Honestly, why not?
Yeah.
Be in a Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah, so basically, like, I've just been experiencing so many, like, experience of joy every day. Like, I can't even remember. I really need to write it down. But, yeah, those are just two things I've just been.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
You love joy. Yeah.
Okay.
Should we talk about book club?
Book club! Okay, should we show the book?
Yes. I've never seen that cover.
Oh,
Can,
It's
honestly,
old. Oh, that's from the 80s.
Can you like input a picture of the cover?
Okay. So basically,
How to do it if you don't know how to do it.
I know how to do it.
The
yeah,
picture?
yeah.
Okay. Because my cover is like really cute. That's why I picked it. And I saw that and I was like, what is this book?
Bro, it's from the 80s.
It's so scary looking.
It's from the 80s.
That's crazy.
Like,
I mean,
was looking
respect,
I was looking at the date. I was like, whoa, it
That's
has
yeah.
from like 1984. And I was like, whoa, right on.
Yeah. But anyway, we're having book
Book
club.
club.
So next in the shadows, we'll discuss this book. It's called Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. And I have read this book before, and I keep telling everyone in my life to read it, and maybe it will come true.
Yes, I shall read it by
Yes.
next month.
Yeah, next month or next 2 months. Doesn't
Next
matter
month
to
or next 2 months, yeah.
me. Yeah, I feel like I picked it because I feel like it was a really. I feel like we should do this all the time. Book club, so
Let's
fun.
do it.
It's a really interesting book. It's basically a retelling of the Greek myth of Eros and Psyche, or Cupid and Psyche, if you know that story, but in like a completely different way. So C.S. Lewis is also the guy who wrote Narnia.
Yep.
All of the Narnia books, so he has a great imagination. And so like on the surface, it's like a myth, it's like a fictional story, but I feel like there's also so much dialogue that can happen because of the themes that go on in this book.
Okay.
Like dialogue about like what it means to love yourself and other people, what it means to have connection with the spiritual and the divine, and also how all of those are interconnected, and how a lot of things are more interconnected than we think they are.
100%.
And yeah, it's very interesting, very thought-provoking. I think it's a really good book that's equal parts like plot and like storytelling, and equal parts like stream of consciousness of the character, which I really love. Like I love going into like their brain
Yeah.
and like seeing how they think, and so this book does that really well.
Okay.
And it's very old.
You guys get 2 months. I get 2 months to read it.
What is 2 months from now?
May, June, July.
July? That's a long time. How about like beginning of July?
Okay.
Yeah.
Read the book.
By the beginning of July,
Yes.
and we'll discuss. You have to remind me.
Okay. Okay. I gotta get on this book. So
Yeah.
okay.
I'm excited. I feel like it matches a lot of what we talk about anyway.
Okay.
Like it's a very good book for both of us. I feel like I love it. It's genuinely one of my favorite books, and it's such like a book that no one knows about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have not heard of it. The cover, I was like, it's giving Egypt.
Yeah, it's so not Egypt, but it's like C.S. Lewis is known for Narnia. He's known for Mere Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that book? He basically just like, it's like a textbook about like what Christianity is, which is like, okay, it's like nothing that you don't already know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you probably the Screw Tape Letters.
Oh yeah, the
That
devil
one,
or
yeah.
the 2 demons.
Yeah, where they're like talking letters to each other. I tried to read that, couldn't finish it. This is so good though.
Okay.
Like it's such like a niche C.S. Lewis book.
We shall read it.
I hope I didn't hype it up too much. It's okay if you don't like it. Genuinely, it's okay if you don't like it. I know people have different tastes,
Well, we'll see.
but
We'll see.
it's okay if you don't like it. If anything, it's just gonna be a really interesting discussion.
Yeah.
Good?
What? Great talk,
I
babe.
know.
In the Shadows Part 3. But any
I said 3.
Any other closing words, my love?
No. Have a good day.
Have a good night,
Have a
day,
good night,
wherever
day.
you are.
Dawn. Twilight.
Dusk.
High
middle
noon.
day. But
Okay.
you guys have a great day wherever you are. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you in like early July.
Yeah. Wow, good job.
Woohoo!
Everyone, high five. Love it.
We'll keep that.